Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick. Wanted to come outside and do an unboxing today on this weight vest, the Ethos. Dave, coming out of Planet Fitness, was asking me about how it compared to other vests, specifically about training, and if it helped with getting ready for a marathon. And you know what? The reason I bought this thing, which has all these compartments, each compartment holds a lead weight of 2.5 pounds. There's enough compartments here also on the back for 60-pound total. That's a ton of resistance. And wearing this when you exercise or when you walk, even when you run, because this actually doesn't move too much. So, I mean, if you've ever watched any of my videos where I did the old vest I had, the Gold's Gym vest, that thing would hang down to my waist and that would swing back and forth, especially if I was doing pull-ups. Objective is to give yourself some form of resistance. If you currently are just breaking into exercise and you're a couch potato, just walking is fine. Walking around the block, picking a distance and a time, and then going outside. 3 days a week is fine, but I wouldn't stop there. I would always target getting more active. The musculoskeletal system will adapt to the stressor that you apply to it. So if you begin your journey of lifestyle change, reversal of disease, taking control of your disease process and being the one to steer the helm, not necessarily just using your oncologist or your cardiologist to steer the helm and blindly accept what they say. I don't go against my specialists. I think they're important to use, especially when you have massive disease at your door. When you're being faced with the symptoms of massive disease or several different disease processes occurring all at the same time, going conservative is honorable, but sometimes it's not intelligent, because if you're where the disease can cause shortened lifespan, I think you have to deploy everything. And that's where I would trust some of the medicines and the procedures that we have available. But the idea is to get ahead of that, not wait till the last minute, and try to make lifestyle changes to adjust your lifespan and health span. Lifespan is how long you live, health span is how healthy you live, no matter what the time period involved. But bottom line is, I have a lot of patients that just break into this refound enthusiasm and motivation by starting with walking. And I think that is fair, but I would advance appropriately. So if you're a couch potato or you have fibromyalgia, you have severe osteoarthritis, back pain, then you have to be smart. And I think that if you don't know about exercise, you should get some guidance to prevent injury and shorten the time of investment to get to that level where you are well versed with what to do. It's starting to pay off. You're starting to feel good. So if you don't exercise, never played sports in high school or college, and you are on your own, you can certainly look stuff up and try it out. You know, back when I was growing up in high school, I always remember Mr. Oxley said that he would use Jack Nicklaus, the golfing pro, Jack Nicklaus, to say, if you watch Jack Nicklaus, if you get lessons from Jack Nicklaus, if you learn how to swing like Jack Nicklaus, you will never be Jack Nicklaus, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And that's really the gift that sometimes is isolated to a few people. You can get better by watching, but by the same token, if you don't know what you're doing and you kind of peruse the internet and get the million hits on what should I do to exercise, you can choose the top hits and then try them on, but the chances of having an injury are high. And that doesn't mean you fall down and tear your ACL or dislocate your arm or fracture. That just actually can mean overuse injury. So overuse injury is more common than all those other things I just mentioned. When you have overuse, it's because your technique is wrong, your equipment is wrong, or maybe it's the wrong interval of application. Too often, too little, too aggressive, too many hills. All those things have to be taken into account. And if you're on your own, the chances are high that you will hit the wall, fail, or give up because you don't like the way it helped you. Too much pain or flare up of your underlying problem. So that's where hiring people would probably be a good idea. But if you think of it as an investment, you're accelerating your time to success. You'll get to your summit faster. And everybody wants that, but nobody wants to invest. That's okay. Usually what happens the first 3 weeks of January, when everybody is in the gym, but then everybody fades because they got hurt or it's really boring or too cold out. Those things that motivate you to get into exercise or lifestyle change sometimes fade really fast when life comes back and bills come back and raising your kid and they're sick and all that other stuff. We have to make things personalized. When they are, there's a higher success, higher sustainability. So bottom line is that this weight vest is actually pretty comfortable. I've loaded it with 40 pounds. So I'm just on my, whatever minute this is on my video filming. It'll work my core, it'll work my legs. It does inadvertently also work the trapezius muscles. That's where at least I feel it, just because it's a heavy load. And I have always talked about using backpacks and filling the backpacks up with 2 gallons of water, 8.5 pounds roughly each, that's 16 pounds. But you know, even the biggest backpack, I need more. And you probably will too. The only problem with this is that when you take it off, you got to shimmy it off, and that's not a big deal. But it is an investment. If it's too expensive, then do what I just mentioned. The other thing to remember is that when you are wearing a weight vest, you want to challenge those activities that will serve your reason for exercise. If you're trying to prepare for a marathon, I don't think I would use a weight vest. If I was planning for a running event, then I would essentially run. Sometimes when you put in extra weight to the ankles, to the vest, to your backpack, and you run, you have to be careful that it doesn't change your gait too much, because that can result in an overuse injury. I remember putting ankle weights on, 2.5 pounds, I think, when I was in track and field, and doing a 400-yard sprint with weights. I mean, it's like you're flying when you take the weights off, but it does give you a change in the way your foot comes through, especially as it lifts off and plants again. So that time when the foot is off the ground and you have extra weight in it, your quad has to do more work, even if it's 2 pounds. Over the course of several strides, quad has to do a lot of work. Your hamstring and your glutes have to adjust, and you are coming down harder than usual on that foot and ankle complex. So unless you're really strict, you can wind up with problems, versus just using your running skills and your running training with either interval training or attacking a hill, declining a hill, parachute resistance training. Using resistance like that is probably far better than actually trying to do a cardiovascular exercise with extra weight. So to answer Dave, I told him that probably better off just working on cardiovascular fitness, developing the right muscle fibers for distance versus power. Because I did see him at Planet Fitness, and we both look like resistance guys. And when you continue training resistance to prepare for a distance run, that's 2 totally different mechanisms of action. And if you're a good athlete, you'll be able to do anything, which is why I did my first marathons. I just wanted to prove that a yoga teacher can do anything. You don't have to train. Just find your groove as far as a cause, a goal, and then get to goal. And then once you attain that, think of something different just to keep you engaged and keep you motivated. What I've been doing since 1982. I just fell in love with exercise because my roommate, Tony D'Angelo, introduced me to weight training. I always kind of did it in the gym. He encouraged me, rest in peace, Tony. And I've continued to deploy that kind of exercise. I've done other things, and now I don't think I'll ever go back to marathon running. I'm gonna buy myself a Wahoo kicker with the inspiration of one of my patients. I'll be going for a used indoor setup, but that'll just add to, hopefully, more variety of what I can do moving forward as I get older. So bottom line is, if you want a challenge, get this vest, consider starting out with maybe the equivalent of 10 pounds, a certain distance that you'll tolerate, 2 weeks straight. And then after that, add 20 pounds, same distance, 2 more to 4 more weeks after that. Keep on adding the weight so you add more and more resistance. If you found that there's a certain weight that's just too much and your knees hurt, fine. Revert back to what the last weight was that you felt comfortable with. Use the same distance, but use it in shorter time periods. Whatever we do, the muscle is just fantastic, and it responds to stress by getting more adapted to stress. If you do nothing, muscle just atrophies and you just wasted a whole organ system. If you can adjust your muscle strength, girth, endurance, you can actually deposit extra glucose and extra cholesterol in muscle. And none of my cardiologists or endocrinologists ever tell my patients that. I think that muscle-centric medicine is where you can actually adjust your disease process, control it just with exercise. I mean, there's certain ways to do it, and you have to have that personalized plan, but I just want to give some of my patients that are trying their best, there is hope. And if you're getting your disease process early, as it's just starting to show up in your blood tests and it's not manifesting yet, then you're good to go. There's ways to take care of things. Become one of my patients if you're not getting any guidance or you're not sure what to do, if you're just confused with all the other information. And I can help design a way out of injury and a way into success. You can always just be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. I'll put out unboxings and tutorials on a regular basis, mostly for my community of warrior athletes that wants to live without disease, without medications, and without intervention. So think about joining my community, but whatever you do, don't take no for an answer. Don't let anybody else give you no for an answer, and keep on pushing to be the best you can be. Thanks for watching up to this point in time, and I'll see you at the next video.